Welcome back to our course UCI 104 Data Manipulation and Analysis using Spreadsheets. We have so far looked at the basic introduction to spreadsheets. We have looked at the launching of the Excel, Microsoft Excel. We have looked at the Microsoft Excel window. We have looked at the basics of rows, columns, and what a cell is. Now, let me now continue with, we look at how to navigate through a cell. And I want to go back to our spreadsheet here. I think by now you know how to go about it. Once again, a cell is an intersection point between a column and a row. Rows are represented using numbers. Columns are referenced using letters. So a cell like that one, we call that cell A1. A cell like that one, that's an active cell, we call that on B1. A cell like this one I've just clicked, we call that cell as cell C3. A cell like that, we call that as cell G4. Once again, a cell like that, we call that one as cell B6. What is the reference name for this cell? The one I've clicked, try to answer that, and then we'll be able to be okay up and going with cells. Now, I want us to look at a technique we can use to navigate through the cells, moving from one cell to another. Maybe going to the right, to the left, top and down. The easiest way is to navigate is to use the arrow keys on the keyboard. If you look at your keyboard, most likely towards the right, depending with the keyboard layout, we have the navigation keys, the arrows. So mine here, if I click the right one, I click right, you can see right, you can move right. Sorry. When I click left, click left, you can see it's going to the left. I click down, you can see it's going to the down. I click up, it will go up. So that's the easiest way of navigating from one cell to the next in Microsoft Excel. Now, let's look at how to enter sample data and how to work with some sample data. So for this kind of course, I want to look at some kind of typical data which we can enter in Microsoft Excel. And the typical data could be the marks for students. So I'm going to type in the fictitious marks for some school students so that we see how we are able to enter. So let me see, I want to begin maybe with from column, let's say, let me say column row 1. I want to use that one as the name of the institution. So let me use that as, let me type the name of the institution. In our case, let me say Maseno, let's say Maseno Junior Academy. Maybe that is the name of the organization. You can see I have typed, this is the name of the organization. The second cell, maybe I want to type here something like serial number. I want to type in something like name. So you can see I'm navigating from one cell to the next. I want to type the name of the student. And then I want to type here marks for mathematics. So I just type maths, maybe Kiswahili, short form. Maybe type English, that's a column heading. Let me type science, let's say. There is a subject in primary, I think it's called social studies. Let me just say SS. So those are a total of 5. In the next column, I want to have totals column, and then maybe I want to say rank or position. Now, let's see, you can, this serial number is the numbers just like 1 to record 1, record 2, record 3. So let me say record 1. The name of the student, let me just say that one as Ken. Not type in other names. So navigate to the next row. Maybe mathematics, you got 80. Kiswahili maybe 70, science, English maybe got 65, and then science maybe got 87, and social studies got 90. Totals, maybe we can leave that for now. We shall do a calculation. Then maybe the second student, let me say Faith, and then got 76, you got 89, you got 65, you got 45, you got 87. Let's leave that. Let's also see another student we call, what could be the name of the next student? Let's say Martin. Martin got 456, he got 76, he got 44, he got 78, he got 89. Okay, let me do the next one. Um, let me say Marion. 67, he got 89. 65, he got 55, he got 80. So you can see that's the data. That's the data we have keyed in. Now, I want us to see how to play around with this data, arrange it in a particular way, and all that. Maybe for now, let me just type that as record 2, this one record 3, this one record 4, serial number 4. Let's arrange this table so that it looks nice, at least appealing. There are various things you can be able to do. Number one, we can put borders around. You can see that this Excel has some borders, yes, but it's faint. When you print this worksheet, these lines or these borders will not appear in our printout. For example, you can just try and say print and then say print. You can be able to see the output here does not show columns, does not show those grid lines. So we want to put grid lines so that the whole thing appears good. So select the entire area where you want to put grid lines. For example, put your cursor there, hold down your mouse, then drag along the entire area that you want to put borders. Then come back to this button here. There's a button here called borders. You can see these boxes here. There's a small arrow down here. Click there and then choose what is called all borders. When you click that, you'll see that the borders will appear. Number two, which I want us to look at, is to resize these columns. There are two ways of resizing these columns. You can see this Kiswahili is the column is too big for these numbers. You can see English, the column is too big for these numbers. So what do you do? There are two ways of doing that. The easiest or whatever method that you can choose, depending with how you find it, will depend on you. So method number one to resize the columns is to go, like for example, if you want to resize this column where we have the column heading mathematics, you put your cursor between, you put your mouse, select between C and D. You will see that sign there. Once you did that, you see that sign, you double click your mouse. Double click your mouse, it will move automatically and it will resize depending with the size of the column heading. Like you can see mathematics, the maths, the text is a bit longer, so it will resize based on that. Number two, let's resize this Kiswahili. Put your cursor between D and E until that symbol appears, then double click your mouse on the left side. Double click that, 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 double click that. Now, that is one. Method two that you can use to resize columns is to do it manually. Let's say you want to resize this Kiswahili column. Put your cursor between D and E until that symbol appears. Click and hold down your mouse and then drag to the right like that. You can see. Want to resize English? Click the column heading, the column E and F until that symbol appears. Click, hold down your mouse, drag to the right. it will also resize. You can do the same for others depending with how you want it. So that is those are the two methods you can use to resize your column. Of course, there are others, but for this case, we can use that in our introductory bit. Now, something else you can play around with this text is that you can see this title, Maseno Junior School, is appearing on column A. We don't want it to appear on column A. We want it to spread all the way up to here so that all these cells, cell A1 up to I1, we want them to be merged together so that Maseno Junior Academy appears at the center. So what do we do? Select all these cells up to there, and then you come up here. You see what is written, merge and center? Click merge and center. When you click merge and center, then it will be able to do that. Because it's a column, we can play around with text and say you want to give it a different font style. I like things like Arial Unicode, and then give it font size. Give it font size even 16. Go ahead, you can give it even bold. You can even give it color, just like in Microsoft Word. I like blue, so give it like blue color, like that. Even these column headings, you can make them to be bold so that they stand out. So select everything. Always when you want to apply particular formatting on any text, just like in Microsoft Word, when you want to apply any formatting features, you have to select what you want to be affected by the formatting. For example, want to change these column headings and make them a bit bold. So select everything, then click bold. Maybe you want to give it like a font 12 that. So select that and then all that. So we can see the serial number column is also too big. Again, let's resize that. As usual, we said you click between A and B, and then you do what? You double click there. There you have it. And then at least everything now looks a bit presentable. A recap of other things you can do. You can center everything to the left. So you can select everything like this and select left align or align left here. Everything will be aligned. If you want to align center, you can align center. You can play around with it. And therefore, let's see. Of course, when you continue, always remember to save. Hit the save button, which you can find either at the file, click save, or just click the shortcut icon on this toolbar. So file, let's see, print what will look like. You can see when we print this thing, it will look like this. This is how it will look like when we print. You can see the formatting is quite okay, and therefore you're good to go. So congratulations for following it through up to this moment. At least by now you're able to type a tabular data, do some basic formatting, at least do a merge. Remember, do a merge, and to combine several cells into one, and at least be able to sort the column, not sorting, but resize the columns using the two methods I've mentioned, of either double clicking and then it resizes automatically, or clicking and dragging to the right or to the left so that your records are aligned well. So up to that point, thank you very much. Let me stop there, and then we'll go into the next where we'll be putting in some columns.